And hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and today we are streaming the Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.2 MSQ. Let me know if my voice sounds a little robotic or something like that, because OBS seems to have done some tweaking with their system, and I'm still trying to sort out my mic, so I apologize if my voice sounds a little different from previous installations. Yeah, it's been a little while, but I wanted to get back, I wanted to progress. And so let's talk to people. I don't think any of the others... Myrokos, might I ask a favor of you? I'm not normally one to pry, but Flamine has been oddly distracted ever since you came back to tell us of your travels in the first. Would you go see if she's alright? What? Flamine's not okay? Why is this the first I'm hearing about this? Well, obviously we have to check on Flamine, so before we get to MSQ, we will check on Flamine. If you like what you see at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells, because every little bit you do helps the channel, YouTube channel, helps Twitch. I know I'm very erratic with my posts and whatnot, but yeah. Alright, Flamine, what's going on? One final journey. Flamine appears lost in her memories. What's this about? And as usual, I'll stay quiet beyond giving a basic reaction. Well, yeah, why don't I read this? Oh, Myrokos. Forgive me, I didn't see you there. Ever since you spoke to me of your last moments with Minfilia, I find myself often thinking of the moments I shared with her. And it was during one such moment of remembrance that a missive arrived from an acquaintance in Ul'dah. Even now, I can scarcely believe the letter's contents, written as if in answer to my heart's lamentations. Such fortuitous timing is nothing short of a miracle, no less than your arrival here this day, I should think. I am about to depart for the Sultanate to meet with my acquaintance, you see, and I cannot think of a better companion for this journey than you. Will you not indulge me with your company? I would not begrudge your absence, but if you are so inclined, it would mean more to me than you know. How could I refuse? You are too kind, my friend. We are to meet on the steps of Thal in front of Vistani's Aesthetics. Pray go ahead, I will be along shortly. You needn't wait for me. Pray set out when you are ready and meet me in front of Vistani's Aesthetics on the steps of Thal. Okay, so now we gotta go to Ul'dah. Yeah, Tataru was worried about you, Flamine, so hopefully this works out. Well, here we are. I hope I have not kept you waiting over long. Not at all. Lamine, thanks for coming on such short notice. Who's this? Oh no, it's them. Myrokos, what a coincidence. What brings you here? Yeah, in between streams I wrapped up some quests like doing the Sunken Temple of Karnhard. So I've already met these two. Ah, you're acquainted. Then I needn't worry about introductions. Myrokos was with Minfilia in her final moments, you see, and I thought it only right that he be present. So, is it true, my friend? Did you find it? To start from the beginning, the concern was contracted to work on the waterways below Ul'dah. Naturally, this included reconstruction of the Sildine aqueducts. The Sildi aqueduct. Yeah. The policeman Minfilia and the others fled after the ill-fated banquet. Yeah, the banquet incident. Aye, and while we were clearing out the tunnel, a glint amidst the debris caught our attention. Cat's eye. At first we wondered how it got to be there of all places, but then we remembered the stone Minfilia gave you all those years ago. There is no mistake about it. This is the self-same stone. The very first stone she ever unearthed in those halcyon days, when she was still called Asilia. She was beaming with pride when she presented it to me. It was a gift I would treasure for years to come. Until the day came when she needed it more than I. She seemed so lost that day in the waking sands. I knew that the cat's eye would remind her of how far she had already come and instill her with a little more courage to take the next step. To think she wore it all this time. When we searched the waterway shortly after the collapse, we didn't find a trace of the scions, no belongings or anything. Curious that it would appear after all this time. Huh. With the stone in hand, Minfilia pressed onward in her quest for true peace. Never once did she look back. And though she is gone, her legacy lives on. In you, Myrokos, and the scions, and in the child, Reen. Safe in the knowledge that others continue to walk her path, she has sent the stone back to me. This I choose to believe. She has earned her rest. I shall bury the stone that she might have peace in the hereafter. Where are you thinking? Next to where her father rests. Indeed, there's no better place than with your loved ones. Well, you're doubtless keen to see to that, so we won't keep you any longer. We'll find a moment to go and pay respects ourselves afterwards. Till next time, take care. Thank you, both of you. Warburton was interred here in Ul'dah at Erlig's burial chamber, but around the same time of the Scion's founding, he was moved to the Church of Saint Adama Landama under the care of Father Iluid. Come, Myrokos, let us seek out the Father and request his permission to bury the stone. Well, it's been a while since we have been in Camp Drybone, or near there. I haven't been really back here, except in... I mean, I think before Stormblood, was it? Ah, here it is. Ah, there you are. I was just telling Father Ilud about Minfilia and the cat's eye. Welcome, my son, welcome. Flamine has explained to me the purpose of your visit, and I see no reason to refuse you. Minfilia would wish to rest with her father. I have known her since she was but a child, full of hope and wonder, an aspiring young miner following in Flamine's footsteps. A dutiful student, to be sure, nary a day passed that she did not set out into the wilderness with a pickaxe in hand. But fate would see her set aside the miner's tools and instead don a mantle of far greater responsibility. She was as passionate then as she was in her childhood, a fire in her eyes that refused to be extinguished. It was that flame that compelled me to lend the Scions my support without a moment's hesitation. To now see so many brave and noble souls continue her work, it only reaffirms that I was right to place my faith in her. Forgive my meandering musings. You have not come to hear me wax nostalgic. Pray see to burying the cat's eye. The 12's blessings be upon you. Thank you, Father Ilud. Come, Myrokos. Warburton's grave is just south of the church. It's been a while since we've been here. I think the last time I was here was when I was unlocking Red Mage. And then before that, part of a Realm Reborn questline. That was a while ago. Here it is, Myrokos. Very far and out of the way. But nice and quiet. It was 20 years ago that Warburton came to Ul'dah, risking life and limb to warn us of the threat encroaching on Eorzea. 20 years ago that my ambition robbed him of his life, a daughter of her whole family. You would have been so proud of her. She was a warm, compassionate, and vibrant woman, always ready to answer the clarion call of duty without a moment's hesitation. Just like her father in the end, that selflessness would save not one but 2 worlds. Now her duty has ended, and though you are worlds apart, I pray with this stone this precious gem from Massilia. A part of her remains at your side. Just as she remains forever in my heart. Oh, Massilia, never did I imagine such greatness could be born from a beginning so humble. I am proud to have been there for that first little triumph. Not only did you find a gemstone, you found your own path. That path took you far away to a place fraught with danger, but you have achieved all that you have ever desired, and you have returned. Rest now, Massilia, my dearest daughter. Oh. Won't you say a few words too? Leave the rest to us. Your legacy lives on. You can rest now, Minfilia. I almost want to say all three in that order, but I can only say one. Let me know in the comments which one you thought I should have chosen. There's much I've left unsaid to Massilia, but I feel as though a weight has been... I've left unsaid to Massilia, but I feel as though a weight has been lifted. With a lighter heart, I shall return to Mordona and resume doing my little part for the Scions for her legacy. Wherever you may be headed, please take care, and when you meet them, do pass my regards to Thancred and Reen and all the others. Thank you, Myrokos, for everything. Oh, you're welcome. Damn, that was a heartfelt little quest. Okay. So back to Mordana. Okay, don't worry, Tataru. She's just fine. In caring for the Scions, we've made more than a few new allies. I'm sure they'll be of use in the future once everyone is back safe and sound. Oh, you're not even worried about Flamine. Actually, sorry to head out immediately. Just want to check on Flamine, see how she's doing, and if she's still at that table. Yes, she is. The time for dwelling on the past has ended. Indeed, if I am to be of help to you in the Archons, I must look toward the future. I have no doubt the road before you is perilous, but remember, you do not walk alone, my friend. Ooh, excellent sentiments. And with that, let's carry on. Old enemies, new threats. Kryl is glad for your return, though it remains to be seen if she has glad tidings to share. Myrokos, what a pleasant surprise. If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope that they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Who's this? Maxima! Ah, Myrokos, it has been far too long, my friend. Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador, I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Alden, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes, I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you have urgent news? Indeed, as you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there that we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor, who claims that the de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Alden has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations, as he has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone, though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades. I see no reason to burden a single Scion with all this. Oh, Kryl's coming with us? Nice. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan Quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. Don't worry about the others. I'll keep an eye on them while you and Kryl are away. Okay? So, to the Alamegan Quarter. I know I still have to do the raid, but I do usually do it after I do 5.3 MSQ, more or less. Oh! Sightseeing log. Much has changed since the first time we set foot in the city. Now we strive to preserve their freedom rather than reclaim it, but we've no time to reminisce. We mustn't keep the commander waiting. Okay? Commander Alden awaits us in the royal palace. If you would follow me. Oh no, oh man, Gaius is here. Okay.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandarnus, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
and right glad are we that you did. Though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the science grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Oh, so I can do the trial now? I can do the trial now. Huh. I assume that unlocks the trial series. Let's do the debriefing, because Cryo said if you can't stay for the debriefing, then okay. Why don't we get that debriefing so we get more information, we have more to bring back. Ruby Doomsday, the Resistance and Alliance forces prepare in earnest as a new threat looms on the horizon. Myrokos, glad you can make it. As you may have heard, Commander Alton has given orders to embark from the Alliance headquarters to hold back the advance of the Empire's latest menace. Not that the soldiers stationed there are too chuffed about being on the front line against these new weapons. If they are designed to slay primals, they'd make short work of us mere mortals as well. Mind you, it's Gaius Balzar and his followers who've led the charge so far, but by all accounts they've been giving as good as they get. Unfortunately, their sorties have met with little success. I dare say they'd benefit greatly from your presence on the battlefield. If you're ready, my colleague over in Porta Pretoria will show you the way. I don't feel comfortable tanking a duty. I just stay. I really don't. But that's... I can at least unlock the duty. Yeah, unlocking should be fine. Though I really do need to, on your way to the Resistance headquarters, I take it? Sure. The debriefing isn't the same thing as actually doing it. To be honest, we weren't sure if you'd ever show up. I, for one, am glad you've decided to throw in your lot with us. Gaius says you're our very best hope for defeating the abomination. We have seen only a glimpse of its true power, and even that was more than enough for us. Okay. So your mind is set. Then I shall apprise you of the situation. We have discovered that the previously abandoned Ultimate Weapon project is being helmed by the reformed 7th Legion. They have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one of which is set to be deployed on the Eorzine front. It's named the Ruby Weapon. Severa and I were able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs and made an attempt to destroy it. An attempt that ended in failure, alas, based on our knowledge of the original Ultimate Weapon. The explosives we employed should have been sufficient to blast through its armor plating, but they barely left a mark. We suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven the source of its resilience. As you well know, the Ultimate Weapon was designed to absorb ether from icons, and the Ruby Weapon no doubt shares that ability. If any were summoned during the uprisings in Garlemald's occupied territories and thereafter consumed, our enemy would become all the more formidable. But its near impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. It fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended and contracted at will. In the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw. Gaius was injured shielding me from the Ruby Weapon's assault. Even now, he struggles to stand. Damn it all. If I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened. You need not concern yourself. Let us not forget that I am the one who initiated the Ultimate Weapon project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, then so be it. If you were to face it as you are now, you'd be cut down before you even hobbled within firing distance. In any case, we can't afford to lose the information in your head on both the foe we face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking for Myrokos' assistance presents our best chance at, of stopping that war machina. 'Tis true that if anyone were capable of putting down such a monstrosity, it would be him. Though I have no right to ask this of you, will you lend us your strength? You have my thanks. And mine, though I must impress upon you the urgency of our situation. We have received word that the Empire is preparing to advance on the Gimlet Dark. That is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proving correct, the ruby weapon will be among their host. Should it break through our lines, there is no telling the devastation it will wreak. Make no mistake, the very survival of Eorzea hangs in the balance. Once you've steeled yourself for the battle ahead, your escort will lead the way. What price must the world pay for my hubris? Okay. Commencing ruby weapon activation sequence. All units stand by. Initiating synthetic aurosite system. Fusion successful. No signs of incompatibility. Awaiting your signal. Ruby weapon codename Darnus ready for launch. Huh. Well, we've come this far. Might as well. Vladin has briefed me on our mission. I am to take you as far as our expected point of contact with the ruby weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Okay, I'll queue for this. Because I'm kind of curious. Normally I do this sort of thing afterwards, but when... Although... No, yeah, I'll rejoin and get this done. That way then I can get it done and then brief them. Although Kryle did say only a briefing. You know what? I'll withdraw. I'll come back and do this later. Yeah, I'll come back and do this later. I did my briefing. Now, we go back to the Alamegan Quarter. And progress the MSQ. Because that Kryle just said a briefing, so I did the briefing. The way home. Kyle can see the steely resolve in your eyes and suspects she knows where duty calls you. I take it you're ready to return to the First? Then I would ask you apprise the others of recent events here in the Source, namely Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them Master Mutoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Myrokos. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. More thunderstorms, more rain. Lovely. Alright, let's talk with the Crystal Exarch. You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you too have been making good use of your time. As well as can be expected. Ill tidings from the Source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might be apprised of the situation.
Now that we are all here, what news from the Source? A new Ultima weapon. We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the Source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white morosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both, that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
To think we will not only have Xenos to contend with, but once we return, but a new Ultima weapon as well. Why must all of our enemies insist on returning from their graves? Upon White Orsite's crystalline foundations, we have built not a prison, but a refuge for the soul. Would that Membrita were here to see the wonders inspired by her research. Never have I seen such a repository of knowledge, a stark reminder what little we truly know of the world. It may simply be my imagination, but Lena has been rather brusque with me of late. You don't suppose she's still upset over that mishap with the salmon fillet, do you? What salmon fillet? Seeking counsel, Alphino is eager to assist Captain Lena. I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it will be good to step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak with Lena? Yep. Don't worry, I will do Cinder Drift. And it's still thunderstorming out. I suggest we hurry. Lena does not strike me as one who enjoys being made to wait. We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. A Sin Eater? A Sin Eater? I just said that, but okay. I had heard some few yet remained after the knight had returned, but perhaps we should call the others? That will not be necessary. It is only a single eater. A simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. Let's be about it then. Me? Why not Alpha now? You cannot be serious. Come now, Myrokos. What could be more inspiring than fighting alongside the renowned Warrior of Darkness himself? Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. Let's see. The Sin Eaters that remain no longer have a leader to guide them, but they are no less dangerous. They cannot be suffered to live. If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others. You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd have likely stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I too was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, it filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades, and so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, sir, truly. It seems like only yesterday as I watched as you took flight astride on Amaro to go save the Orc. Oh, it's the one who flew with us. Ah. Okay. Strange to think it, the Yulmoran soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked that I escort him to Clear Melt. It took rather longer than I anticipated. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to honored guests. It won't happen again. The name's Thaler. Is it Thaler or Taylor? Taylor. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to him. Don't give up, don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. My friend got to see the Knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what is to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know, and so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up, we won't give in. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting. If I hadn't seen him with my own eyes, I'd have sworn it was you who killed it, that Sin Eater.
Did you slay this Eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
By himself? Certainly it is no Light Warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it. So I says to him, who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness? And he says, no, I'm a warrior of light. And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
A warrior of light?
Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him, the Warrior of Darkness.
Eh? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this Warrior of Light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating.
Oh.
Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true. It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy. It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there. Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past, remind him of all the pain that came before.
Anchors keep us where we have chosen to be. He's not he's lost without you, you know, and he misses you already.
Are you sure? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
I probably should have done the trial and done all that, but can do that later. Facing the truth, her mind at ease, Lena is ready to return to her duties. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts. An adventurer calling himself a warrior of light. Why would anyone tie themselves to the legacy of individuals held in such low regard in the first? Warriors of light, harbingers of the flood, and all the world's woes, that this wanderer should so boldly claim their title is most curious indeed. 'Tis strange to think how heroes so beloved by the people could be brought so low in so short a time. Alphino tells me a warrior of light has slain the Sin Eater. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to make of this. Ah, yes, I was hoping to speak with you about, on the second thought, never mind. It would be rude of me to pry. The others were quite shocked to hear what we found in Lakeland. But now that you're here, there is a proposal I should like to make. I have been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people perusing books on history, the years leading up to the flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as Sin Eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance in this conjunction with this renewed interest in their predecessors may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I too can attest to the falsehoods found within full many of the Cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I am not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, that knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. That said, there still remained those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Verbert. That such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as Sin Eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains deserving only of resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Not hide. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed. And now we may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome Emmett Selk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who know him only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of his sacrifice. To that end, I say we proceed with Alphino's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium to recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light and the flood that followed in their wake. Well, what say you, Myrokos? Spread the word, I say. I wish we had done this sooner. In hindsight, I agree, but better late than never, no? Exarch, might I ask you to continue working with Backlog on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium and the etc. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread and more will accompany them. Okay, just need to adjust something. I've seen many a great terrible thing in my long life, as has the Exarch, no doubt. Of man, I can say that his memory is short and his heart fickle. Let us pray that your words reach him. There can be no darkness without light, and so it was that Ardbert was there in your hour of need. The people must be told. Well, to what do I owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask you be brief. With the night return, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind, though, seeing the stairs so full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. The Warriors of Light? Yes, the Exarch mentioned them before, but everyone knows them as the Cardinal Virtue. Now as the Cardinal Virtues. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? Well, you've yet to steer us wrong, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say. Come to browse the wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, whatever it may be. Under Yulmar's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is that a fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? Little wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before all Northront reaps the benefits, but you've not come to talk about the market. Something on your mind? I see the Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning the night to Northront. Alright, consider my interest piqued. Hey, Alpon. Myrokos, my, what a wonderful surprise, though I hope your being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door of late, which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medicines. I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and again. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I'd very much like to hear it. Looks like I need to, get on the... No, to get up. So... We're going to be talking to Catless, I think. Assuming I remember correctly that that's her name. Yep. Well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Grenelt not long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean and that he inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. To think fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry. You mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left all unsaid, I'm all ears. Lots of people at the Crystalline meeting these days. No, this can't be. Surely there's at least one book that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Oh, Myrokos, forgive me. The Captain of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin-eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they were not always judged so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light? Of the Flood? How wonderful! You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone. Okay. Yeah, I think I probably should have done the Cinder Drift since I started the quest line. Oh well, but Crowd again did say that, That was a briefing. It is good to see the people of the Crystarium so eager to learn the truth, and with this newfound knowledge of the past, they will at last be able to look to the future with eyes unclouded. Those they spoke with are at the orchard, and those spoke with at the orchard and the rookery were quite keen to hear what we have to say. For as much hope as they have for the future, the scars of the past weigh heavily on them still. There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but wait for the people to gather.
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
Wicked White? The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
What the?
Impossible.
You can see him too? I take it I'm not imagining this then.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light.
You've saved me a fair bit of time. Though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may. People of the Crystarium! I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a warrior of light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when he must return to his home. But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light. What? Us? Warriors of light? None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
No, absolutely not. It looks like him, it sounds like him, but it isn't him.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
That he is an Ascian.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emetzelk's failure here in the first, 'tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen? My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light. On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emetzelk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while La Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps? Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
Huh. Well, it's coming up on my dinner time. I'm going to need to call it a quits here. So if you liked what you saw at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. And when we pick up, we'll either wrap up the ruby weapon stuff or continue with the MSQ, but we will complete 5.2 at the very least. So until then, see you anon, friends.